Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here, and welcome back to Marvel Month, and I will not apologize for that terrible intro. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the second movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, The Incredible Hulk, released in 2008, directed by Louis Leterrier. After the critical and box office success of Iron Man, Marvel, in association with Universal Studios, decided to bring another, more well-known character into their cinematic universe. Most people who have followed the MCU for a long time now are probably used to seeing Mark Ruffalo as the big green giant, but in this movie, he's played by Edward Norton, who is well known as the voice of the bagel from Sausage Party. The movie briefly shows us Hulk's origin story in a really well done opening credit sequence, showing scientist Bruce Banner experimenting with gamma radiation until something goes wrong and turns him into a big green monster. Not wanting to hurt anyone, more specifically his girlfriend, played by Liv Tyler, he flees to Brazil until he can find a cure. But the military want to track him down and use him as a weapon, even going as far as to inject another soldier with the radiation used to make the Hulk, turning him into an abomination. But when that goes haywire, the Hulk must return to the city and stop them from causing any damage and killing everyone. Believe me, it is not as exciting as I'm making it sound. Before I go any further, I should bring up that there was another Hulk movie made in 2003 directed by Ang Lee, and that movie got a lot of criticism for being too slow-moving, too boring, and not containing much action. I bring this up because this movie's major problem is that it's too slow-moving, too boring, and doesn't contain that much action. Honest to God, I counted 3 major action scenes throughout this whole movie involving the Hulk, and one of them you don't even see him. Like, the first one, he's just completely left in the shadows, and the other 2, you do see him, but that's it. Those are the only action scenes with the Hulk in them. And that's really disappointing, because from a Hulk movie, I mean, I get it. One of the things that draws people to, you know, the Hulk as a character is Bruce Banner and, you know, the inner turmoil between those two. And I'm not saying that that couldn't be made interesting, but the problem is, in this movie, it's not made interesting. You are so bored by what's happening. Like, they don't really do a good job getting you to care about any of the characters. None of them, except for maybe Bruce Banner, are developed in any way, shape, or form. You know, the characters' motivations don't make any sense. You know, the whole love story with Liv Tyler and Bruce Banner, that is the least interesting part of the movie. I mean, it only seems fair that if you're not going to give us interesting characters and if you're not going to give us an interesting story, we should at least have some fun action, because, you know, it's the Hulk, the big green guy known for smashing things, and that should be really cool to see, but, well, for one, we don't see that much of it, and for two, when we actually do see it, it doesn't look all that impressive. I mean, there are some parts that are kind of cool, but, like, at least the final battle, or whatever, it's shot in a really dark and, like, dimly lit city. It's really hard to see. There are a lot of, like, explosions and, like, fast moving shit. It's 2 really big green monsters fighting each other, and it just looks really, really not that impressive. I will say, I mentioned this in my Iron Man video, that the effects looked really impressive for the time. This came out the same exact year, and somehow the effects look worse. I don't know why that is. It never looks convincing. It never looks like it's actually there. Like, I mean, you have to think, several years from now, we got Infinity War, which gave us, you know, easily the best looking CG character probably ever. At least since, like, Gollum from Lord of the Rings. And we go all the way back to this. It just looks like total shit. He looks terrible. He looks like a video game. It's awful. Honestly, my favorite out of the 3 action scenes is the one where they keep him in the shadows, because, you know, it's really suspenseful and kind of eerie. You don't see that much of the Hulk, and it makes the reveal of him, I would say, all the more impressive, but he's not really that impressive. He doesn't look all that impressive. And above all else, like I said, this movie is boring. I was bored to tears watching this movie. It was insane. I kept, like, stopping and looking at my phone and stuff like that. I just kept, like, getting distracted and sidetracked because I just didn't care about what was going on. I was so tired. I mean, the movie wasn't completely terrible. There were a few tiny things that I liked about it. For one thing, there is some nice, cinematography in it. The film is well shot. The editing is pretty decent. And even though I prefer Mark Ruffalo, maybe it's just because I've seen him as the Hulk for longer and I've gotten used to him. I've gotten used to how he plays the character. I do actually dig Edward Norton's take on it. I like, how, kind of on edge he is, how he's, always constantly aware. He's trying to, he kind of talks like sort of softer because he's trying to, keep himself in check. He's like constantly paranoid by what's gonna happen, and he just doesn't want the beast to be let out. Like that was really cool, and he did a really good job. But the other actors, like aside from maybe General Ross, like Liv Tyler, she was like annoying the shit out of me. Her performance, like she just kind of talks like this throughout the whole thing, and she's just like really like soft-spoken and like it's just so shut the fuck up. Oh god. Yeah, this was a tough sit, especially coming off the heels of Iron Man. I can see why this makes a lot of people's worst MCU movies or worst superhero movies lists. Yeah, like I said, it's too early to judge if this is the worst one because we're only 2 movies in, but yeah, this was a rough one. This was a rough one, man. I am really glad that they got better with the effects and they got better at developing Hulk as a character. Yeah, bottom line, this movie was not very good. It is not very good. It was not entertaining. It was not fun. It was very boring, very dull. It had a couple of cool action scenes, and like I said, Edward Norton gave a pretty good performance, but aside from that, nothing that I would watch again. I'd probably give it a 1.5, or if I'm being generous, a 2 out of 5. Anyway, that does it for another episode of Marvel Month. Tune in tomorrow where I'll be taking a look at Iron Man 2. Hopefully it'll be better than this one. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you thought of The Incredible Hulk when you saw it. Does it hold up? Did you like it back then? And where does it rank on your list of best to worst Marvel movies? Apart from that, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on what I'm posting. Follow me on all my social medias, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.